The real estate papers slid across the table, and that's when I saw my signature at the bottom. A signature I never signed. My husband wouldn't meet my eyes, and my sister smiled like she'd already won. My name is Evelyn Carter, and for 12 years I believed I had a safe life, the kind built slowly, brick by brick. A modest home, a shared dream, quiet mornings with coffee cooling between us while sunlight crept across the floor. That house wasn't just property. It was every overtime shift, every sacrifice, every promise whispered late at night. I trusted my husband, Mark, with my life, and I trusted my younger sister, Lauren, with my back. The night everything changed, the house was silent. Too silent. Even the walls felt like they were listening. It started with small things. Mark stopped talking about finances. Lauren suddenly knew details she shouldn't have. Mortgage numbers, property taxes, renovation plans. I remember standing in the kitchen one evening, watching them whisper near the hallway. Their voices dropped the moment I walked in. "Am I interrupting?" I asked. Lauren laughed too quickly. Mark said nothing. The air felt tight, like something was being hidden in plain sight. Weeks later, a bank letter arrived, addressed to both of them. Not me. My hands shook as I opened it. A refinancing notice. My house is listed as collateral. I confronted Mark that night. He told me I was imagining things. That was the first lie. The explosion didn't happen at home. It happened in a law office. The attorney cleared his throat and said calmly, "Mrs. Carter, the property was transferred 6 months ago." I laughed. Loud. Uncontrolled. "That's impossible." He turned the papers toward me. My name. My forged signature. A notarized stamp. I felt sick. I looked at Mark. "Tell him he's wrong." Mark stared at the floor. Lauren leaned back in her chair, arms crossed. "We needed leverage," she said, "and you're always so emotional about money." That was the moment my marriage died. They had secretly transferred ownership of my inherited property, the house my mother left me, and used it to secure a business loan without my consent. I screamed. Mark finally spoke. "I was going to tell you." Lauren smirked. "You would have said no." The fallout was immediate and brutal. The bank froze accounts. The loan defaulted within weeks. And suddenly, my house was at risk of foreclosure. At home, the arguments were explosive. Mark begged for forgiveness. Lauren called me selfish. "You wouldn't even have this house without family," she said. Family. The word burned. I found messages on Mark's phone, financial plans, jokes about how Evelyn would never notice, and worse, emotional intimacy that crossed lines no sister should cross. The betrayal wasn't just legal. It was personal. They had laughed behind my back while living under my roof. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the floor of the living room, my back against the couch, staring at the walls I once painted with hope. Every corner of that house held a memory. Birthdays, holidays, quiet arguments that ended in apologies. And now, every memory feels contaminated. I kept replaying moments in my head. Lauren helped me choose curtains. Mark standing beside me during renovations, his arm around my waist. All of it felt staged now, like I had been living inside a lie they rehearsed behind closed doors. Around 3 a.m., I walked into the bedroom and opened Mark's closet. His clothes were still there. His scent still lingered. And suddenly, I couldn't breathe. I realized something terrifying. They never planned to tell me. Not after the loan. Not after the transfer. Not even if I lost everything. I was never part of the decision. Only the asset. The next morning, Lauren showed up unannounced. She acted calm, like nothing had shattered. "You're being dramatic," she said, sitting at my kitchen table. "This is business." Business. I laughed, sharp and broken. That house was Mom's, I said. She trusted me with it. Lauren rolled her eyes. And now you're trusting it with your family. That's when it hit me. To her, I wasn't family. I was leveraged. Mark stood silently behind her, his face pale, his hands trembling. And for the first time since I met him, I saw fear in his eyes. Not guilt, not shame. Fear of consequences. That realization hurt more than the betrayal itself. They weren't sorry for what they did. They were sorry they got caught. That was the moment something inside me hardened. The tears stopped. The shaking stopped. And in their place, clarity arrived. I wasn't going to beg for respect anymore. I wasn't going to sacrifice myself to keep peace with people who had already sacrificed me. I stood up, walked to the door, and opened it. "Get out," I said quietly. Lauren stared at me. "You don't mean that." "Oh," I replied, meeting her eyes for the first time without fear. "I mean every word." I had a choice. That choice didn't come easily. It sat in my chest like a weight I couldn't breathe around. Every option felt like a loss. If I stayed silent, I would lose myself. If I spoke up, I would lose what little family I had left. I spent nights staring at the ceiling, listening to the house settle, every creak sounding like a warning. I kept asking myself if justice was worth the loneliness that would follow, because I knew what exposing them would do. It would end my marriage publicly. It would destroy my sister's reputation permanently, and it would rewrite how our entire family saw me. I wouldn't be the victim anymore. I would be the one who went too far. I thought about my mother then, about how hard she worked to leave me that house, how she always told me, "Never let anyone make you feel small in your own home." That memory burned. I realized something painful, but freeing. They had already chosen to lose me the moment they signed those papers. I was just the last to find out. Standing in front of the mirror, one morning, my eyes swollen from crying, I barely recognized myself. But beneath the exhaustion, something else stared back at me. Resolve. Not rage. Not revenge. Just a quiet refusal to be erased. That was the moment I stopped asking what this decision would cost me, and started asking what it would cost me if I didn't make it. Stay quiet, protect the family image, or burn everything down with the truth. I chose myself. I hired a forensic accountant, filed a criminal report, and sued them both. The court filings were public. So was the evidence. Mark lost his job. Lauren's business collapsed overnight. They called me heartless. I called it justice. Walking into that courtroom, I wasn't angry anymore. I was calm. And that scared them. The house is still mine, but it feels different now. Quieter, heavier. Some rooms echo with memories I don't want back. Mark moved out. Lauren doesn't speak to me. And I don't chase closure anymore. Because betrayal doesn't deserve reconciliation. It deserves accountability. I didn't lose my family that year. I lost the illusion of loyalty. My name is Evelyn Carter, and I learned the hard way that money doesn't change people. It reveals them. Some endings are painful, but necessary. Tell me, what would you have done?
And that's how everything unfolded. If you've made it this far, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below, we truly read every single one of them. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the REDDIT Diaries to support the channel and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Your support means the world to us.